What is going on, y'all? Today I am going to be doing something that, well, I think I might be a little bit of an expert on ranking Batman movies. This'll this'll be fun, as as you guys can clearly tell. I fucking hate Batman. No, it's like, as you guys can tell, I'm clearly a massive Batman fan. Um, and I've seen every single one of these on this list at least once, multiple times for some of them, and like 100 times for you know a lot of them. So Adam West had two Batman movies. This one, not bad. It doesn't really hold up, but it's not bad. This one's a little bit better. Um, the Return of the Caped Crusader definitely is not really all that great. Actually, I'll put this in like high C tier. Now we get into the fun stuff. Batman 1989 is S tier. I mean, what can be said about this movie that has not already been said? Gotham feels like its own character within this movie. It feels very comic booky, but also Gotham is like, a disgusting looking city. You can tell just how corrupt and like behind the city is in terms of like the infrastructure and all that stuff. And Michael Keaton as, Batman's great. Jack Nicholson playing Joker is top notch, and it's only ever been topped once, but we'll get to that later. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. But I think while Returns has a stronger story, I do think that overall Batman 1989 revolutionized just superhero movies in general because it was basically the first one. And so Batman Returns is a solid A tier. Like, it's like extremely high A. I would even take an argument of it being in like low S tier, but I think personally that it's just really high A tier. I think that the story in this one is not as well thought out. It's not as good, but it's still a solid movie. I mean Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer are doing a really good job in this movie as Penguin and as Catwoman, respectively. But like I said, though, Michelle Pfeiffer's performance will be topped later. But so here's the thing, is that like there's not as many, I think, iconic moments in this movie as there is in this one. This is still a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Any of the movies that end up in here, I think, are just great movies. But like, I don't know. I think. Oh, sorry. There has to be another tier made. At a row above. Yeah, there is a row above S tier. There we go. You guys know where that will stand. It's within a league of its own. Batman and Robin. You know what? It's actually not terrible. Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, playing Riddler and playing Two-Face along with Val Kilmer playing a pretty decent Batman, actually. I think that this movie is solid. It's definitely not as good as these two, and it's very And it's very jarring the fact that this Batman's supposed to be the same as these two. Like, it's like weird to me because these feel like completely different movies than this does. It feels like it's within the same universe, kind of, but like, I don't know. It doesn't hit on the same notes, but I think that Jim Carrey absolutely kills it playing Riddler. There's one redeeming factor that makes this not S tier, or that makes this not F tier. I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger's batshit insane performance playing Mr. Freeze makes this shit so fucking funny. Like, it's so fucking funny. And I think that whenever he is on screen, the movie's actually kind of decent. Like, it's actually kind of cool. So due to that fact, I can't put Batman and Robin into the F tier. Batman Begins is A. There's no question about that. The dark brooding city, the suit is really, really cool. I love that we get Batman's origin, him training to be like a martial artist / like, you know, escape artist. I truly think that it's kind of cool that they had the balls, even though you can kind of just tell based off of like some shit early in the movie. When you're a kid, you can't tell that Liam Neeson is actually like Ra's al Ghul at first. You can't tell it, but then as soon as like you're older and you put some shit together, you're like, oh shit, yeah, you know what? Actually, that does seem rather plausible. There's no doubt in my mind. The Dark Knight is fucking leagues and bounds above all of these. I mean, Heath fucking Ledger, bro. Aaron Eckhart delivering stoic yet brilliant performances as Joker and as Two-Face. Like, it's fucking crazy. And the story is brilliant. That ferry scene is top-notch intensity. If you want to build a climax in a movie, this is how you fucking do it. This is how you make a sequel to this, is with this. And the thing is that while The Dark Knight is within a league of its own, it also ruined superhero movies. Shout out to geeks and gamers. I said this on the Roller Romecast yesterday. It ruined movies, superhero action movies in general, because now every single movie is being held to this standard. And people are trying to emulate what the Dark Knight did for just the movie genre in general. But I don't think it can ever be replicated. The Dark Knight Rises is a solid B tier. The only reason that I don't have it in A tier is that I think out of the three villains, Bane is probably the weakest. And it's not even that like he's bad, but it's just at first you kind of understand where he's like coming from, but then he just turns into a one-note villain. Like, he's just like a guy that just like wants to rule everything, which is kind of like a 2010s villain trope. They just want to rule everything. And so I think that I like Bruce's journey within this movie. I think it fits well, and it fits with the themes built throughout like the whole series. Um, and I love his comeback within this movie, and I love his personal growth. The twist villain works, I think. It's not really capitalized on, but it works for like shock value. Um, so I think that's 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 definitely why though it's only in B tier. It's still not bad, but it's in B tier. I'll put it above Batman and Robin because it's definitely better. I'm sorry, Batman Begins is above Batman Returns. Ooh, the Mask of the Phantasm, S tier, baby. They don't have Robert Pattinson Batman here. Oh well, okay. Just so you guys know, Robert Pattinson Batman would be in like A tier. I'm just saying. Mask of the Phantasm was a great story, basically showcasing a younger Bruce Wayne, played by the legend Kevin Conroy, R.I.P. And it was showing that Bruce Wayne was in a relationship and he was happy. And there's this really sad scene where he's at his parents' grave, and he had promised to get vengeance for them. But there's something that like he says that still haunts me, and he says, "I didn't count on being happy," and he says that he can still help the city in other ways, and it's hauntingly beautiful because when he breaks up with that girl, or more so when that girl breaks up with him, he fully embraces becoming the dark, dreary, broken human being instead of letting himself be happy. And so it's hauntingly beautiful. Batman Sub-Zero is B tier. I think it's pretty solid. I like the 3D realism put into this 2D movie. I don't think personally Mr. Freeze works all that well as a main villain. I think he's better as a side villain or as like a lackey, because while he has an interesting story, it's always the same story. Like he's trying to find a cure so that he can unfreeze his wife. It's always the same shit. But Sub-Zero did show the human side of Mr. Freeze, which was actually kind of cool. Which I think that was the whole point. Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. Again, it's in B tier, but I put it above Sub-Zero. I watched these two movies so much as a fucking kid, and this one is just really, really cool. So basically, what it is that this is like Batman when he's like in his like 50s, and there's a new Batwoman in town, and they're trying to take down the Penguin and Rupert Thorne. And Duquesne. That's the third. And all three guys, Batwoman seems to have a grudge against all three of them. And what you find out later is that characters that you have met, Kathy, Kane, Roxanne, Valentine, and Sonia, I forget her last name, but you meet them throughout like the movie. You find out that all three of them are one Batwoman. Like they each go out at different times to be Batwoman, and they were all inspired by Batman. It's actually kind of cool, and it's kind of a who done it thing, but also not really at the same time. It's actually really cool. Is there any question that Return of the Joker is fucking S tier? Like, there is Mark Hamill's acting in this movie is batshit crazy, and I really think that it being the Batman Beyond Batman going up against Joker is so freaking cool. And I'm not going to reveal the twist for this one because I think that this is a twist that y'all don't need to know about. You need to go and watch this shit. Same with like the Phantasm, because there are twists in both of these movies. Go and fucking watch them. Be just like trust me when I say that you will enjoy both movies. The Killing Joke. I hate doing this. It's a C. It's a C. It's a C. It's a C because I love the comic, and it's like every kid's first Batman comic, that or Batman the Dark Knight Returns, which I think is on this list. I hope it's on this list because I really want to talk about it. But the thing is that the reason that it's not in D or F is because of the acting of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, because they saved this movie with their brilliant acting. But the problem is that in order to get this to feature length theater movie time, they needed to add like a half hour at the start of the story that did not need to be there. We did not need to see Batgirl and Batman having sex on a fucking rooftop. We did not need to see that. There was no need for that. So the fact that we saw it and it happened kind of put a bad taste into my mouth. Now when we get to the actual Killing Joke story, it's actually really good. But knowing, because like the cool thing about this story is that we get to see possible origins for Joker, but it's still left to be unclear, and also the ending's really, really cool. And it's acted extremely well by Mark Hamill and by Kevin Conroy. Are they here? Yes, they're here. Cool. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Batman and Harley Quinn is D. Just, there's nothing for me to say. Just Kevin Conroy, as usual, does a fantastic job. That's all that I want to say. Just don't watch it. I sat there for 95 minutes and I watched it, and I was looking forward to it, and it wasn't worth it. Can you guys hear the pain in my voice? There's pain in my voice. It's that painful. It's that terrible. It's that bad. But now we get to a solid movie, one that, again, I watched a lot as a kid. Batman versus Dracula is a solid B tier. It's just really cool to see Batman going up against like possibly the greatest mythical creature of all time, and they're ripping it straight out of the comic book, which is actually really cool too. Batman Gotham Knight is also B tier. I don't really have much to say on it. It's just an okay movie. Like, it's not bad, but I didn't get an intense amount of enjoyment out of it. Under the Red Hood is fucking S tier. They 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 knew what they needed to cut out of the story, and they knew what they needed to keep. And the story's brilliant, and I love this, and I love this movie. And not only is it one of my favorite comics of all time, but it's now one of my favorite Batman movies and one of my favorite animated movies of all time. So, yes, sir. Son of Batman, I despise Damian Wayne, but it's still better than The Killing Joke, so I put it in C. Batman versus Robin, again, C tier. Still better than The Killing Joke. I'm sorry. What is this? Oh, Batman Bad Blood. Again, all these movies are C. This, trilogy bullshit, it's C. These were some of the most mid movies I've ever watched. And I watched them back to back and I was excited for all three of them because we get the greater Bat family. But the movies are all terrible. They're all ass. So, yeah. Oh, Batman vs. Superman, Public Enemy. I put that above Sub-Zero. I put it above Mystery of the Batwoman in B tier. It's just cool to have Batman and Superman, the original voice actors, voicing them, talking to each other, acting at each other, and you hear the animated series actors just giving really good and compelling performances. It's actually really cool. That's all that I can say. It's just really, really cool. Oh, Apocalypse is A tier, baby. That's, again, Kevin Conroy is fucking incredible in this. Batman Year One is high B tier, or it's like mid B tier. The thing is that I love the comic, but the movie did cut out some parts that I liked that were in the comic. Okay, The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. We can just put them both within the same ranking. They're within the same ranking because even though they're technically two parts, I rank them as one movie because it's technically just one movie. S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier for sure. It is S tier. Imagine an older and grungier Batman in a fucking dark ass world, and like he's basically just like being driven to like being an actual like outlaw. Just like it's a really cool story. Go and just fucking watch it. It's actually really cool. And this and The Killing Joke are every kid's first Batman comic. Like, this is what you want your kids to read when it comes to Batman because it's easy to follow and it's a really, really good story and it's not overly intense, at least in some parts. The art in the comic can be a little bit jarring, but that's also just because Frank Miller, something was wrong with his hands, and he just couldn't draw that well. When he started making this comic series, so other than that, though, Justice League Doom is not bad. It's probably the best in the C tier. They got a lot of the animated series actors back. I think it's a little too short. I wish it was longer, but it's cool to see Batman using or it's cool to see a group of villains using Batman's contingency plans for if any of the Justice League ever turned rogue. And like it's cool to see him try to like justify why he has it, and it's actually really cool. So let's see. Is this Justice League Dark? Yeah, it is. Again, it's mid. I put it right here. Batman or Lego Batman movie. I didn't even know that there was two. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it above all of these. Now, the Lego Batman movie is A tier. I mean, what more is there for me to say? It's just really solid. It's funny. It has probably one of the most heartfelt Batman stories of all time. And I really think that every actor is just fucking killing it. Assault on Arkham, despite the fact that I love Kevin Conroy and I love the Arkham games, it's just D tier. That movie's awful. Now, Batman Unlimited, they're all just C. There's not really much for me to say about them. Haha, we get to our first F on this list. Batman v Superman. Yeah. And it's an F because Batman kills people. Period. Point blank. Batman kills people. Batman shouldn't kill people. Batman kills people. He shouldn't kill people. I know. It is a darker Batman. I don't give a shit. He should not kill people. Batman Gotham by Gaslight was also really, really cool. I'm gonna put it above Batman versus Dracula, so like low B tier. Batman Ninja was also pretty cool. Basically just take any anime and then just give it to Batman, and that's what you have. Batman Hush was disappointing, but it's the best of the C tier. I really, really wanted this movie to be good because I loved the Hush comic and I loved that whole arc. So the fact that it wasn't that great was really sad. But Batman versus TMNT is S tier. You guys know I love TMNT and I love Batman. And I think that Troy Baker taking over for Kevin Conroy as the main Batman voice is gonna be really cool because he sounds just like him. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this obviously accurate tier ranking list. Do you guys agree with me, or would you guys change anything? Tell me what you think. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear what y'all think. There are no right or wrong answers. Peace out.